Welcome to the World News. Interesting stories around the globe just for you. I'm Randolf Jamias here in Naypyidaw. To start our news, Australia unveiled a long-term plan to boost trade with a booming Asia on Sunday, aiming to lift Asian input into its economy to one-third by 2015 from 25% now, via more business with China and India in particular. Releasing a new policy document, Australia in the Asian Century, Prime Minister Julia Gillard said Australia was well placed to benefit from the economic rise of China and India and to boost trade and investment with the broader region.
Whatever else this century brings, it will bring Asia's return to global leadership, Asia's rise. This is not only unstoppable, it is dazzling pace. The weight of the world's economy is genuinely moving in our direction. When we map the centre of gravity of global consumption, we see it is shifting east by more than 100 miles a year as demand grows on our side of the world. By 2025, it will have reached as far as central India. The world economy is coming our way. But beyond that, we must build a greater resilience in the Australian economy, strengthening sectors like agriculture, tourism, financial services, health and education, transport and logistics, manufacturing, helping Australian firms win work and create jobs here in Australia, helping them open up new opportunities to export and win business in the region.
It also targets more Asian investment into Australia and lower trade barriers. Since the early 1970s, Australia has regularly tried to deepen its Asian ties to cash in on regional economic growth.
But we need to be realistic that this might not come to pass, and that Australia also needs to be preparing itself for the Asian century story to be one of trouble and uncertainty as well as growth and promise.
The Asian Century policy also aims to ensure that by 2025, 1 in 3 board members of Australia's top 200 companies will have a deep knowledge of Asia, while all school children will have the chance to learn an Asian language. Meanwhile, a magnitude 7.7 quake has struck off the west of Canada. There are no immediate reports of damage and casualties, but a tsunami warning has been issued.
The U.S. Geological Survey says the quake hit the Queen Charlotte Islands. It was followed by a 5.8 aftershock several minutes later. Now, the U.S. National Weather Service has issued a tidal wave warning for coastal areas of British Columbia, southern Alaska, northern California, Oregon, and Washington State. It warns that the Hawaii Islands could also be affected.
How about living in a home located in a floating island? A Dutch architect has designed the world's first floating islands for sale in Maldives, an area under grave danger from future sea level rises. The islands will be anchored to the seabed using cables and will support 185 individual homes, which are already for sale at nearly $1 million each. Ali Parks reports.
To many tourists, the Maldives is a tropical paradise. But it's a paradise with an uncertain future. Its 1,200 low-lying islands are vulnerable to rising sea levels, and many believe that their fitness for habitation might soon be compromised. But Dutch architect Koen Ophuis has considered the problem and believes he has a solution. Floating islands. Working alongside the Maldivian government, Ophuis's company, Dutch Docklands, is building 185 luxury homes docked to artificial islands that will be anchored to the seabed with cables, giving them a secure, permanent location. Each home will be priced at under $1 million, and Ophuis guarantees that each will feel like it's been built on land.
It's very stable because it's quite heavy, and it can just go up and down with the waves and go up and down with sea level rise. But the beauty is that it's so stable that you don't feel any waves. It's just as walking on a normal island.
There will also be 43 multi-million-dollar private islands. A star-shaped conference hall is also under construction, as well as a floating golf course with an underwater clubhouse accessible via a tunnel on the seabed. OPAS says this approach will minimize damage to the seabed and do little to interfere with animal life. Of course, not everybody can afford such luxury, but OPAS believes that the principles of the project can be applied to all kinds of vulnerable communities, be they wealthy or not.
The technology we innovate there, we design there, we also can use for other parts of the world, like Bangladesh or places where there are wet slums. So what we do, we let the rich pay for the innovation for the poor. And that's the beauty about water. You can, floating developments you can use everywhere.
It's a form of trickle-down economics that OPAS says meets the needs of a warming world.
An air defense brigade of the Chinese People's Liberation Army, Chengdu Military Area Command, recently reviewed the unit's development through a cartoon featuring the works of one of its squad leaders, Go Jianhua, who has been illustrating all his life in the military over the past 10 years, did not know that his scrawls would one day serve such a great purpose. He selected 1,000 of his cartoon drawings from his collection over 10 years. Focal points range from living quarters, equipment and weapons to the very detailed story of how he and his colleagues forged bonds during missions in daily life. Many of his works reflect the large changes in military equipment used by the division. Modern communication devices and air defense weapons have greatly improved the brigade's operational efficiency. Go and his colleagues are planning another exhibition, which they plan to call the brigade's next 10 years. It's the semifinals of the WTA Championships in Turkey. Maria Sharapova won 6-4, 6-2 against Victoria Azarenka on Saturday and will face Serena Williams of the United States in Sunday's final. Sharapova beat Azarenka with ease, and the Russian is yet to drop a set in the tournament. The French Open champion went into her match with Azarenka having lost 4 of their 5 meetings this year. Azarenka, who had sealed the year-end #1 ranking by advancing to the semifinals, lacked her normal power and foot speed and was no match for Sharapova, who broke the Belarusian serve twice in the first set with some vicious returns. The 4-time Grand Slam champion raced out to 4-0 lead in the second set, fought tooth and nail to win a 24-point game to go ahead 5-1, and then easily held to win the match. Sharapova has advanced to the WTA Championships final for the first time since 2007. To end this segment, we are celebrating a birthday. Vila, a western lowland gorilla who was raised at the San Diego Zoo, turns 55 the weekend of October 27 and 28. Her exact birthday is unknown since she was rescued from the wild. She was raised at the zoo's nursery and brought to the safari park in 1975. Vila is a matriarch to 5 generations of gorillas.
Turning 55 makes Vila the 3rd oldest known gorilla in the world today. And fortunately for her, she's in excellent health. As you can see, she has a great time here at the park, and she eats everything. She's missing a few teeth, as you know, some seniors are, but she loves corn on the cob and doesn't miss a kernel. Vila and the baby have a very special bond. Monroe uses Vila as his personal playground, and she's pretty much okay with that. He's riding around on her back. He plays with her a lot of times he takes naps with her. They've got a very close bond.
In 1965, Vila gave birth to her daughter Alvila, who was one of only 5 gorillas to ever be born at the zoo at that time. Vila was the first gorilla to ever give birth in San Diego. Thanks for watching. We'll be back shortly. Please stay with me.